3. Hey, what's up friends? Welcome to Chaos Live. So if you're new here, never been to a Chaos Live ever before, then where the hell have you been? Because I've done 42 of these now. Is that what we're on? No, we're on 44, aren't we? We're on 44. So I've done 44 of these. This is my fun little live stream where I get a chance to hang out with you guys, answer questions if I can, just have a conversation. So if you have a question, you can leave it down in the chat, or I guess it'd be that way, I think. I don't know. So you can leave it in the chat. A lot of times I miss some of them, so I try to get to what I can because I can't get to every single comment. So don't be mad if I miss it. But I'll try to my best to get to ones I can, and if you can ask it again. If I don't, always come back to the video after it's been processed and live on YouTube after it was live, and you can ask a comment in there, ask a question. I can usually get to it there. So let's see, what do we got? We got a bunch of awesome people: Jalen, Southern Sun, Kaith God, Bill, Amplifier Yellers, LG is Daddy, Evie, T-Dog, Yer or YR, Bubby, was it Creedmore? Jake, Pedro, Eugene, Skechers Kid Gaming, Cody, quite a few. There's a bunch of you. There's quite a few people that are part of that notification platoon awesomeness, and we're right up in here, ready to rock and hang out with me. So, like I said, if you have questions, leave them down in the chat. I'll try to do my best to answer whatever I can. So, let's see, what do we go to? Check out Patriot Watch Media. It's run by a friend of mine, a Navy veteran. Well, that's awesome. That's cool. The only Navy kind of person I kind of check out is JT Suits. I watch him a little bit. Once in a while here and there. I pop in on his live streams, kind of bug him. This filled quick. Yeah, this one went kind of quick. 37 people, according to the little thing over there, but that fluctuates compared to what you're seeing, what I'm seeing. Oh yeah, we got to set a like goal. Let's shoot for 100 again. We did, last time we shot for 100, we got close. We got really close to hit 100. I think we hit 100 a little bit afterwards from some of the post viewers and stuff like that. So we're gonna make a goal of 100 likes. So if you enjoy the stream, have a good time, hit that like button, and we'll remind some new people as they show up later, and we'll see if we can't get the stream to 100 likes. Yeah, there's no school tomorrow. That's awesome. Yeah, we got a lot of snow here in Colorado Springs. And I'm really hoping that we get a snow day tomorrow so I don't have to go to work, because that would be awesome. I missed the last live video. Well, man, Jalen, you gotta get that notification going on. Unless sometimes YouTube just doesn't send them out, then that sucks. What's the most insane thing you've ever done? Most insane thing? I don't know. I don't know if I've really done anything really too extreme, or I don't know. I don't know if I really have anything that extreme. Was it let's see, SM, I don't know how to actually say it, but awesome person here says, what's up, Chris? Well, what's up? Name that I had no idea how you would pronounce that screen name. Ivan, what do you got? Hey, Christopher Chaos, and other veterans. Wanted some advice. I'm 26 years old and trying to enlist. Would infantry a bad idea since my age, or would it not matter? No, 26 isn't too bad. I had a friend who went into infantry at he was like, what was he, 20, he was 27, 26, something like that. So no, not too bad. I think it's up to you. Let's see, this chat is going a little crazy right here, so I don't want to get too far behind. So don't mind me if I'm a little bit behind on the chat. We'll work our way forward a little bit. Make a video on veteran benefits, please. Yeah, that's at some point in time. I need to write that down because I think I had that in my mind to do something, but it's vet benefits. That's a good idea, Eugene. Thank you. I think I remember thinking about that, but I never wrote it down to kind of keep a memory of it. I don't think I have this magical board over there that I keep track of a lot of video ideas. So make sure to like the stream. I agree, Skechers Kid Gaming. About 17K more until 50K. Yeah, it's still kind of a ways away. What will happen when we reach it? I don't know. I mean, I don't get anything special from YouTube after that. I was supposed to, after 30, get the availability to have like memberships with the channel memberships, but I haven't gotten that still. So I don't know if YouTube's ever going to give that to me to allow me to have channel memberships, but we'll see. Hopefully one day. Hey man, do you think you can explain or make a video about the AIT experiences like? Probably. I mean, I could really give a video on like how my AIT experience was like. It'd be tough to do when like in general because it will vary based on your MOS. My AIT experience might not be the same AIT experience as someone else. I went through AIT as an 88 mic, so my AIT isn't gonna be the same as like someone who's doing for supply or some of the like longer AITs, you know, because mine at the time was only 5 weeks. I think now it's like 6 or 7 weeks. I don't remember what it is, but yeah, so it wouldn't be quite the same, but maybe some kind of like story time type of thing. Hey Chris, is it true that 91 Fox AIT offers a gunsmith certification? I don't know. I couldn't answer that. I would not know. Did you watch the UFC game? Well, it's a fight, but yeah, I did. It was a hell of a fight. It was awesome. So yes, of course I did. Of course. What would be the best MOS for a score of 62 at the ASVAB test? I don't have like scores memorized in my head, so I have no idea. It's really, you know, I wouldn't look at it based on your score. Look at what you want to do in the Army, and then see what you need to score to get that MOS. So I would shoot for that. Sorry, hey, from New Zealand, Monday at 3:30 p.m. Day off, yeah. Just hanging out on your side of the world. Chaos World Live, still awesome office. Well, thank you. Thank you, Missy. Hey, Chris, can I be a moderator? Of course, Southern Sun. Let's change that right now. Southern Sun is now a moderator. There we go. Of course, Southern Sun, by the way, was the very first super chat I ever received. It's from that individual. All right, skipping ahead a little bit because you guys are getting crazy with this chat. I don't want to get too far behind and then people leave the chat and I didn't get to their thing. Negative 48 in Canada. Holy crap, Owen. That is crazy. Should I go active? It's up to you. Do you want to do full-time Army, part-time Army? It's really up to you as far as active. I went active because I didn't want to try to get a job and be in the military because you have to do kind of both, where I was like, I just want the Army to be my job, so I just kind of went with it that way. Hey Chris, what do you think would be the best MOS for, oh, you asked that again? I don't know what the best score of that specific one. Any tip on how to recruit a friend into the Army? Drug them. No. I don't know. I mean, you can always try to do like the buddy program. So if you have a good friend and you can like do an MOS that maybe they want to join, and you can do the buddy program where because you're the referral person, then they then you get like promoted like up one rank, so you get like promoted to E2, and then you guys can go to AIT together, and you can get your first duty assignment together. So yeah, I would probably try to do something like that. If you're good friends with that person, maybe you can convince them to kind of go in together at the same MOS. Shipping next week. Any last minute advice? Geez, Bill. I would say get in all the fun stuff now to kind of hopefully get that out. Like whatever you want to do, whether it's going, if you're old enough to go drinking, go drinking. If you want to get fast food, you want to have a good time with your friends, make sure that you get out and do all that fun stuff, because when you're in basic training for that 10 weeks, or if you're doing OSIT, whatever the case is, you're going to be on lockdown pretty much for that time. You're not going to be able to get that freedom again until you're done with all your training. Once you go to your very first duty station, you're back to having your freedom. But that first, whatever, 10, 20, 100 weeks, whatever, you know, depending on how long your AIT is, or if you're going to OSIT, is basically, you know, really, really restricted. So you gotta, you know, make sure to get out some of that fun stuff that you're not going to get a chance to do while you're in basic. So I would definitely hit that up. Chris, is the Army worth it? Do you regret anything? I kind of wish I would have found like maybe like a MOS that I was more interested in. I kind of just took whatever sounded like, I could do that, and just kind of rolled with that. I wish I would have maybe gone with an MOS that was something exciting, something I would have really liked to do. That would have been probably better to probably go for something like that. We got a super chat. We got Crazy with a $1 donation. Well, thank you, Crazy, for the $1 donation. You rock. Hey. Did you ever find? Let's see, what is it? Did you ever found out if the initial PT test was changed? Oh, that's right. You asked me about that. At reception, from the 1 minute push-up to 2 minutes, so on, with sit-ups 2 mile instead of 1 mile. I have not. If there's anybody in the chat that can help out Eugene, I forgot about that. Who's been to maybe basic recently? If the he was wondering if they've changed it. It used to be when you'd go to reception that first week you're there, they would do like this really low standard PT test just to make sure you're not in like really crappy condition. It's basically like only like 10 or 15 push-ups and half, or like 1 mile run and half the amount of sit-ups you need to do. But he was saying he heard that they changed it to be the full-on thing in reception to be a little bit more now. So I haven't heard anything yet. I had a class last week of soldiers that I was teaching. I don't remember if any of them were, I don't think any of them were young enough in the Army to be able to answer that, even if I had remembered to answer the question. But yeah, I forgot to ask that question. So I don't know. If there's anybody in the chat that can answer that, then hook it up. What's up, Chris Chaos? My first time watching your live chat, brother. Well, awesome. Was it a Royal Bloodline? Thanks for coming to join in for Chaos Live. We got a very lively chat this evening. Chris, really like your new shirt design, the camo skull. I liked it so much. I ordered one already, Doug. Dang, one of the very new ones. I haven't even posted that on ChristopherChaos.com. So I have some merch at ChristopherChaos.com. There's also like the little shelf at the bottom that usually shows some shirts in there. So if you got it from there, then you probably got hooked up. Man, we got crazy with another donation. $9. Thanks, man. Thanks for the donation. Is the food on base decent? Yeah, I'd say so. It's not horrible. Like a lot of people, you know, in movies or whatever, they make it look like slop, like prison food. And for the most part, food on base is pretty good, like the chow halls, because you get a good variety of stuff. You can do like healthy food if you want, or if you want to just eat like crap and you want pizza and hot dogs and hamburgers, they have that because they have mainline and they have short order. So if you want mainline, that's more of the healthy stuff, and then you have the short order, which is like burgers and, you know, pizza or whatever, and they'll mix that up occasionally. Usually, well, most part, short order is pretty much the same stuff all the time, where mainline will usually change it up. But the food's pretty good, even like in Iraq. Like when I was in Iraq, we had, I think it was on Wednesdays, was shrimp and lobster day. So the food on base is actually pretty good. I just kind of got sick of it after a while because I just didn't want to go to the chow halls anymore. So after a while, I kind of quit going to the chow hall, but it wasn't because the food was bad. I don't know. I just kind of felt like being rebellious, I guess. Hey, Chris, any hints as to what next MOS Monday is? You know what? For the awesome people here in the live chat, I'll tell you what it is. It's a 91 Echo, which is, it has a weird name to it. Because it's basically a welder and a fabricator, but the name for it was an allied trade specialist. So they make it sound really fancy, but it's essentially a welder and a fabricator. So look for that tomorrow. Can you email your local recruiter and talk to them, or do you have to go there in person? You can email them. It's usually better just to go in person because sometimes it might take a while for them to get back to you in an email, and it's sometimes easier to, you know, ask multiple questions because you might send them one email asking some stuff and then, you know, have to try to get a follow-up from them and all sorts of other stuff, and hopefully they get back in the chat or in the email from your questions. So I'd say it's usually better just to go there in person a lot of times. We got, what's up, Chris 113? All right, Clayton Bigsby from 113. Well, that's awesome, man. Skipping through the chat a little bit because I'm getting kind of far behind. Hey, Chris, I'm 17 and I'm shipping to Fort Benning for basic training. 19 Delta Airborne. I don't know, 29. Was that the date? Is there anything you suggest for training besides my normal routine and for 18 Bravo training when I'm 21? Well, if you're going for 19 Delta, you're going to OSIT. You're going to, if you want to be an 18 Bravo. Okay, gotcha. So you're going to start off as 19 Delta and then try to go Special Forces? Yeah, I don't know if it's for tips really or anything like that. Yeah, I mean, really just get into shape, learn as much as you can. If you're going to go 18 Bravo, well, you won't get to really select really what you want to do. You just got to hope to get what you want as Special Forces. But if you're going to try to go through Special Forces selection and everything, make sure you're in great shape. Really work on land nav. Land nav is a big one that messes people up. And then just kind of, you know some tactics and get to learn as much as you can. It'll help out. But the big thing with Special Forces selection is being in really good shape to be able to handle that and being good at land nav. So those would be the main things if you want to work your way up to trying to go Special Forces, I'd say. I have to get some Christopher Chaos shirts. You do. Everybody needs a Chaos shirt. So What happens if you don't reach the gas, or you don't, don't react in the gas chamber? So there was one guy I remember where he was pretty hardcore, I guess, or whatever. The gas didn't seem to affect him really too well. And he was just cool with it, and they kind of had him go through it again. So even if it's not really affecting you, I'd probably recommend at least faking it, so that way they don't send you through it twice. So, because I mean, if you get lucky and it doesn't affect you the first time through, the second time you might not be so lucky. So I'd say, hell, fake it, and then they'll just let you go through and you'll be good. I found my recruiter on Facebook Messenger and he replied back really quick. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, sometimes you can do that through, like, if the local recruiting command has like a Facebook that they use, you can probably send a message and you might be able to like message back and forth. Hey Chris, not sure if you saw my message here last Wednesday. I went through MEPS and passed the physical and signed my DEP contract for 42 Alpha Human Resource Specialist. I ship out May 13th, so excited. Well, awesome, Carlos. Hopefully it goes well for you. Good luck to you, and hopefully you enjoy that MOS. I actually had, and it wasn't Human Resources, it was Human Intelligence guys last week doing training that I was teaching for, so. I had a recruiter contact on Messenger too, but then I went to meet him and he wasn't there, so I ended up meeting with another guy. That's what I say, just go in there, because it's probably better. When I went through the whole process, there wasn't a place nearby, so I had to like call someone and they had to come down and all that kind of craziness. So yeah, it was a little nuts. Crazy's got another super chat, man. Well, you're awesome. Thank you for the $5 donation. Broke my shoulder in 8th grade. Yikes. I'm now 19 and just had surgery. Could that prevent me from getting in? I wouldn't think so, unless it's physically like makes things difficult from you. Then I wouldn't think so. Like they're probably gonna, see. Well, I don't think they see medical records, but they're gonna have you do a bunch of drills and little things to kind of test you a little bit physically, like walking on your feet like a duck and doing some certain other things. Probably have you do like a little physical with a doctor and move your arms around. And if it's not physically bothering you or hurting you or preventing you from being able to do like push-ups or being able to carry like a backpack or something on you with a lot of weight, then I think you'll be okay. So that's the main thing. But if simply just having shoulder surgery at some point in your life isn't automatically something that would disqualify you, it would be more of a disqualification if it was something that was preventing you from being able to do push-ups, preventing you from being able to carry stuff, preventing you from basically being able to do basic soldier tasks. Otherwise, you should be good. I don't ship out till July 22nd. Man, that's rough. Chris asked my brother last Saturday if he wanted to play some Apex Legends, and he messaged me, "I'm drunk. How often do soldiers get caught underage drinking, and what is the punishment?" They don't, not too much. It's the soldiers that get crazy with it. So if you're underage and you're getting loud and obnoxious, and you're in the barracks and you're partying hard and you're bringing attention to your barracks room, then yeah, you're probably going to get caught with that crap. If you're being pretty casual about it, then you probably won't get caught. I mean, I'm not recommending that you go do underage drinking, but that's usually the people that get caught, is the people that are drinking underage and they're getting loud and crazy, and then someone from the CQ desk comes up to find out what the heck all the racket's about, and they find out that Private so-and-so is only 18 and he's wasted. So then they call the leadership, and the leadership gets on you, and yeah, it's bad. Technically, they can give Article 15. Most of the time, I haven't seen it usually get that crazy, unless by being underage drinking and drunk, it caused you to, cause some damage to something or violence or something. But for the most part, usually maybe you might get a counseling. Maybe they're going to start doing barracks inspections on you more often to check your room for alcohol. That's the other thing too, is if you're under 21, they a lot of times do barracks inspections quite often, and if they catch you with alcohol in your room, then they're going to confiscate that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know how common. I mean, it's fairly common, I guess, ish. That not necessarily common that underage drinking gets caught, but people drink in the Army. That's what they do. Besides being a civilian and a soldier, and the fact that National Guard is part of the Army, what's the main difference between National Guard and the U.S. Army? So like active duty compared to National Guard? Well, active duty, you have a day-to-day job, and then, like you're saying, I guess, in the National Guard, it's only part-time, but the mission is really different. for the, I mean, National Guard can do a lot of the similar missions that active duty will do, but for the most part, National Guard is going to be busy with national disasters, like if it's a, there's a hurricane somewhere, or an earthquake or a flood or whatever, then they're going to respond to that kind of stuff, where the regular Army is not really going to be dealing with that unless they need some extra support from a nearby post. So that's usually one of the main things, is National Guard will react to more of those hurricane relief and other relief kind of projects, where active duty Army is the more dealing with the battle in other countries or whatever it might be happening. So, hey Chris, I was wondering, how do we become a moderator if you're, for your stream? By the way, I'm a huge fan. I've been subbed with notifications on for the past 2 years. Well, thank you. That is awesome. I like your name too, by the way, XX Chaos XX. So I probably got quite a few moderators now. But a lot of times, if I see you quite often in the chats, in the comment section, then eventually, I'll probably, make you a moderator if I see you're a pretty loyal person that's constantly engaging in the chat or in the comment section or something like that. This time, I don't think I really need any more moderators. Southern Sun, I hooked that person up because first super chat, and also, I see him quite often in here as well. But for the most part, I don't think I need any new moderators just yet. But stay active, and maybe at some point. Yeah, Crazy is blowing this up. Is this Edward changed like your screen name? Because I remember we got this other guy, Edward, that's always usually in the stream, blowing it up with with super chats and stuff. But thank you, Crazy, for another donation for $2. Did the Army inspire any of your tattoos? No, none of my tattoos are Army inspired. I thought about getting some kind of military related tattoo, but I don't know. I don't have anything related. The tribal thing with all the skulls, I have a thing with skulls, so I wanted like a tribal tattoo, and then I thought about filling it with skulls. The Made in America thing I just thought was kind of funny idea to do, so that was my first one. It's kind of hidden in there. It was my first tattoo. The hymn logo was just a spontaneous thing. I was out with some friends, they got a tattoo, and they were telling me that I should get a tattoo, so at the time I think I was wearing a hymn t-shirt, and I was like, oh, let's just do this logo. Screw it, why not? And the flames was more inspired by Chester Bennington from Linkin Park. He had some blue flames, and I thought that was pretty cool, and I didn't want to copy him, obviously, so I did some more hot rod style flames, and so I kind of did that. So that's kind of really where those came from. None of them are really military inspired or anything like that. So, do you know anything about the day-to-day life of a 94 Alpha? Let's find out what a 94 Alpha is, shall we? Because I have no idea. Land Combat Electrical Missile Systems Repair. That's a long, long title. I don't think I've ever met anybody that was a 94 Alpha, so I cannot help at all. Sorry. Let's see. Chris, when I went in 1980, there was no underage drinking. I was 17 and going to the Class 6 store all the time. Going to the Class 6 store. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if you're not getting crazy about it, a lot of times people don't notice. But the people that are getting crazy in the barracks, those are the people that get busted. How do you become a designated marksman? I don't know what a designated marksman is. You're talking about, well, the qualification of marksman is just the marksman. I don't know what you mean by a designated marksman, so I'm not too sure. Let's see. Thanks for making me a mod, brother man. You're welcome, Southern Sun. You rock. Oh, there's Edward. No, man, my parents told me to stop wasting my money on super chats and strip clubs. Well, gotta do what you gotta do, Edward. That's funny. That's funny. I didn't realize that you were here. So that's welcome. Welcome to the live stream, Edward. But yeah, you can still hang out, and it doesn't have to include super chats. I try to get to everybody's questions as much as possible. But yeah, sometimes obviously super chats grab your attention, so you have to respond to those questions, or at least try to. Are there any spoons here tonight? Any of the cooks? Because isn't that where you were, Doug? Doug the Eliminator? You gotta probably do that MOS at some point in time. Do a cook in the Army. What kind of work do you do for the Army now? I am an instructor. I teach a system called JCR, which is the navigation and reporting system that the Army uses, and I teach soldiers how to use that system so that they can utilize it in combat and training, whatever. It's usually like a system that's mounted inside of their vehicles. Most vehicles will have it inside there. So I teach them how to use it. So I want to be a 12 mic firefighter in the Army. Should I join National Guard or Army? Any difference in benefits? I don't know about, I don't think there's much difference in benefits really, because I think you have a lot of the same benefits. The only main thing, from what I understand, it's a really hard MOS to get, for one. And then second, you know, if you want to do it all the time, then you probably want to do active, unless you want to do like National Guard, firefighting, and then as a civilian, try to get on with a local fire department, then maybe you can do it that way. So you kind of mix and match civilian with military firefighting. So that's probably the things you'd want to consider is something like that. I wish I could say, but I have to sleep, have school tomorrow. Nice stream, Chris. I'll try to catch you next time. Well, thanks, Not So Royal. Thanks for dropping in and saying hi. Don't forget to like the stream. I agree. Eugene says, don't forget to like the stream. What are we at? 39. We're at 39 likes. The goal for today's stream is to try to get to 100. We want to try to get to 100 likes before the end of the stream. Usually I stream for 1 hour. We're only at 27 minutes, so we still got some time. We still got some time to try to get this stream to 100 likes, but that's the goal. The goal is to try to get to 100 likes. Anything on 91 Bravo and 19 Delta? I know a little bit about the Scouts, which I talk about that one in the video for the 19 Delta. So check out that video. That video on MOS Monday. I kind of give my opinion on some of the Scout stuff. Hey Chris, should I tell my recruiter about a, I don't know what the heck that is. Oh, something cyst I had removed. It doesn't affect me physically, but MEPS would see the scar, and I'm worried it'll hold me from getting into the Army as 11 Bravo. If you just have a scar, they're gonna document it because they document all this stuff. If you have tattoos, scars, they document everything anyways. But just having a scar isn't going to prevent you from an MOS. Unless it physically was something that prevented you from being able to do something physically, you're gonna be fine. So that means not necessarily something you have to bring up. They're not gonna care. I mean, if you want to bring it up, you probably could. Nobody's gonna really care. But yeah, if it's not something that affects you physically, usually you don't give a crap about it. They're gonna document it. So I mean, don't get paranoid if they're writing down that you have the scar there. That's because they have to document all that stuff. But otherwise, yeah. And that's also so that you can't claim later that I got this scar from the Army. You know, if they document it beforehand, then they have documentation showing that, you know, that's not from the Army, that's from pre-Army. You know, so they're gonna document any of that pre-Army stuff. Have you stayed in contact with any of your old Army buds? Yeah, quite a few. I was talking to, what was it, a couple days ago, I was talking to my old roommate from Korea. He was living in Texas. We were talking about a little bit on Facebook Messenger. And there's a few locally in town. Facebook, you know, I don't really use Facebook much anymore, but Instagram, there's some different ones I stay in contact with and talk to here and there. So it's pretty good. 2 weeks I ship out Fort Lossner Wood, watch out. Oh man. I did Fort Leonard Wood for AIT, but that was a long time ago. In Florida for the week for March, break from Canada, visited Daytona Beach and have mild skin cancer. Yikes. Yeah, Florida's pretty cool. I've been to Florida once. It was pretty fun. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna probably post about it probably on Wednesday, but if anybody happens to be in the El Paso, Texas and Las Cruces area coming up, I'm gonna probably do a little meetup thing because I'll be down there for the Bataan Memorial Death March. It's coming up real quick. So the 15th of March, I'll be in El Paso, Texas. So just kind of hit me up either on Instagram, Facebook, somewheres. You can email me if you want. Just hit me up if you're interested in, you know, meeting up with me while I'm in El Paso. That'll be the 15th on a Friday. And then I'll be in Las Cruces in New Mexico on the next day, on Saturday. But I'll post about it on Instagram, probably post about it on YouTube's community thing, post about it on my Facebook page. So I'll post about it there. But if anybody's interested in that kind of meetup thing, make sure you look for that little post or hit me up or whatever. Las Cruces and El Paso. So those will be the places where I'll be going. We got Steven Aguilar with a super chat, $2. You rock. Thanks, Need help focusing on studying the ASVAB. Any tips? There's a lot of good like online websites I've seen that have study things, but as far as help focusing, try G Fuel. I don't know. I don't know if that really works, but I know there's a lot of websites that have study guides. There's like you can even get from like Barnes & Noble, the ASVAB for Dummies. I don't know how good that is. But just a lot of online resources. Like I didn't study for the ASVAB, and I probably got a pretty crappy score because of it. And also I kind of screwed off taking the ASVAB. I didn't really study for it at all. But if you're obviously trying to get probably a really good score, so you have a very large pool of MOS to choose from, or specifically the MOS you want, then it's good to study for it. So just check online. There's a lot of resources online, even free ones, where you can just study using those little practice tests and everything. I don't know if there's any YouTube videos that are like good study guides for like practicing for that, but I would check out a lot of that kind of stuff. 44 likes. What do we got right now? We're at 50. We're at 50. We're 50 away from 100 likes. 32 minutes into the stream. Trying to get to 50. Trying to get 100 likes. 100 likes for the stream before we end after an hour. I have a scar on my face and they never say anything about it. See, there you go. Bill has a scar on his face and they don't even care about that. So that's cool. But yeah, usually scars don't affect you unless you have something physically wrong because of that. Chris, will there be a girls' tee of your merch anytime soon? Yeah, I mean, I could. There's not a lot of women that watch my content, so I never really had much of a need of it. There's leggings if you really wanted Chaos leggings, but yeah, I mean, I could see probably like a basic Chaos shirt. Maybe I'll have to switch it up and try to do like a basic ladies version of the Chaos shirt. I think I used to have it with the old company that used to print my shirts, but not with Teespring anymore. So I might have to do that for you, Evie. I'll post it on there maybe hopefully sometime this month in March. I got a super chat from Edward. I thought you were trying to hold back, man. I thought you said that you had to save money up and stop wasting so much money on super chats. Well, thank you for the $2 donation. Med disqualified for all but auxiliary military. Well, you know, hopefully something works out and you can find, you know, something to satisfy your urge for wanting to, you know, do some kind of thing with military. Don't let it get too discouraging. You know, hey, there are some people that, yeah, you can't get into the military for whatever reasons, but there's other ways that you can hopefully maybe satisfy that need for wanting to do something military type of related. So, James Foster, see you at the Bataan Death March. Hopefully you have to try to find me. If you're not going to do like the meetup thing in Las Cruces or El Paso, then you have to try to find me at the thing. I don't know my way around the place. I don't know like where to meet me or anything like that at the actual race, but should be good. I just did a 16-miler yesterday. I was tired, a little worn out, but I think I could still do the 26. I'm hoping. Hope so. It'd be horrible. Can you be an officer while being a sniper? Maybe as a lieutenant. Maybe. I don't know for sure. But for the most part, a lot of officers are doing more leadership stuff and admin stuff and that kind of thing. So usually you're stuck with that kind of thing rather than being able to do the cool stuff that most enlisted soldiers are doing. That'd be probably more of an enlisted thing, Mike. So, do you think you will make a computer setup video? I don't know how well that would do on this channel. Most of like my obscure videos that I do don't really do very well. Like when I was doing the unboxing, like the first unboxing video did okay, and even the second one, but the last two unboxing videos didn't do so well for like those ones. And then I've done a video before on something like a couple other obscure type of things, and those videos don't often do very well. It's usually more of the army related things that do pretty good. But I don't know, maybe something on my vlog channel. By the way, I changed the name of my vlog channel. I do need to get back to doing that because I miss doing vlog stuff, but the vlog channel has changed to this great name that I had thought of today. It is DD214 Vlogs. So I also am wearing a cool DD214 shirt from Grunt Style today. But DD214 Vlogs is the new vlog channel. So yeah, it's gonna be awesome. James Foster with a $5 donation. Thanks, man. See you at the March, brother. Training my tail off. Did 22 miles the other day. Holy crap, James. That's nuts, dude. Yes, 16 was the most I've done so far. So far, I've only done 16 is the most. I've done some 12s, some 10s, some 8s, I did a 14 the other weekend, and then this last weekend, or yesterday actually, did the 16 miler, and that's the most I've ever done. So 26 is gonna be way more. So you're freaking on top of it, man. Edward, blowing all your money, man. What's up, Edward? $2 donation. Thank you so much. Auxiliary military is known as Special Forces for Disabilities. That's funny. I mean, you have to. Hopefully, it works out for you. I'd be curious to learn about like auxiliary military stuff like that. I have never heard of it until like you popped up into these chats, into the live streams, and started asking questions about it. I have absolutely no experience with that stuff. So I hope it kind of works out well for you, and you can hopefully give me some information about it. Let me know how it is, and all that kind of fun stuff. So, Chris, do you ever do meetups in the Fort Carson area? I could. That's where I work. I work on Fort Carson, so there's a good chance if you are a soldier on Fort Carson, you could possibly run into me. Sometimes I've had that happen a couple times, especially like at the building I work at when there's like an exercise going on. I've had a few people like recognize and be like, "Hey, wait a minute, I think I know you from YouTube." So I mean, we could. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll do something special and try to see if there's anybody in the Colorado Springs area who wants to do a meetup or do something fun. I don't know. I did one a while back when I tried doing this little chaos tour last year, and there's 3 people that showed up for that, and it was fun getting to meet you guys and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. It's not out of the question. It's a possibility. If anything, if you are a soldier in the military, just tell your unit you want to take the JCR class at the Mission Training Complex, and maybe I'll be your teacher. Most likely I would be a teacher, or at least one of the teachers that would be teaching you. So, there you go. Waiting on my recruiter to get back to me for 2 weeks now for a criminal record in another. Does it take that long for the process? It can. It depends on how busy they are. They might have a lot of background checks they're trying to do, and sometimes those background checks take a while to come back. If there's like some kind of complications with it where they have to dig deeper into it before they can kind of get into whether it's going to disqualify you or not, then that can slow down the process as well. So you just have to kind of watch, you can always check up on it. It doesn't hurt to call them up and try to get back and see like, hey, just wanted to check on the process, see if you got any new details or anything like that. But yeah, it can sometimes, during certain circumstances, take a little bit of time. What are we at? 55 likes? Trying to get to 100, guys. 100 likes. So I'm going into the National Guard as a junior in high school. I have a boot this summer, and after high school I'm going to Marion Military Institute. Do you have any advice for me? So you're gonna go in and try to go in as an officer, so you're trying to do like a OCS, sounds like. Just work on being in good shape. Everything else, basic training, all the other training will prepare you for that stuff. It's best if you can somehow, improve in your physical condition, because it'll make things easier if you're in good shape. If you're in poor shape, they're gonna whip you into shape, sure, but it's gonna be a lot rougher. Where if you come into basic training already in fairly decent shape, then that helps out. So that's usually the main thing to kind of get ready for. Learn about some of the Army stuff. It'll give you a little bit of an advantage. I have like a video that tells you about 5 things to do before you join the Army, and you can always check that kind of thing out, and that'll help. But hey Chris, if you could redo enlistment, what would you change and what schools would you go to? Let's see, Southern Sun. Well, I've talked about it before, where if I was going to change it, I would come in as I think it's a 25 Victor, which is like a documentary specialist or something like that, basically doing video production in the Army. That would be pretty sweet. So I would probably redo that. But the thing is, like, I didn't have that interest until about 2 years, 3 years into the Army. So I wasn't really interested in that until later in the Army career. So I didn't know I wanted that kind of a job before I joined. And then schools to go to? I don't know. I don't know if there's any. I don't think so. I mean, I wasn't really that motivated to want to do anything high speed, like go to airborne or go special forces or anything like that. So I just kind of did my job, did my thing. So, but if I could redo it, I'd probably try to pick a funner MOS that I would enjoy a little bit more. There was a former spoon working at the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company restaurant. Let's see. Hey Chris, I took the ASVAB and qualified for 11 Bravo in the reserves, but not in active duty. Why are reserve scores set lower? I didn't even know they have 11 Bravo. I don't think they have 11 Bravo for the reserves. They have it for the National Guard, if that's what you're talking about, because I don't think you can be an 11 Bravo in the reserves, but maybe National Guard. I don't know why the scores would be lower. I think they'd be the same score though. So I don't know. Maybe it's not necessarily the score was lower, but the slots? I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you for that. I'm sorry. Edward! Holy moly, man. Super chat from Edward. Blown it up now. Thank you, Edward, for the $5 donation. When I'm trying to join the Navy, the recruiter dismissed me even though I was wearing a wing of the meds. They said I was wasting their time. Do people waste? I don't know. I've never seen any really kind of things that people just waste their time. Maybe they're just mad about something. I don't know. If you're bugging the hell out of them, sometimes they might get pissed about that. So, I mean, that can always be the case. They're trying to, you know, do their job, and if you're bugging the hell out of them, then yeah, there's a possibility that they could get just pissed and say that you're wasting their time because they're mad at you for whatever reason, because you're bugging the hell out of them, because they don't probably like that. But I don't really know if people that just go to try to waste people's time in the thing, I don't think necessarily he meant it that way. I think maybe that person was just annoyed that day, but I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. But hopefully the that auxiliary thing works out better for you, though. Hopefully that'll be cool. What's the difference between 11 Bravo and 11 X-Ray? If there is any, my recruiter didn't really explain that well. So 11 X-Ray is not an actual MOS, it's more of a temporary MOS. So most people, if they're trying to be like 11 Bravo or 11 Charlie, they're going to get assigned the 11 X-Ray MOS, which isn't really an MOS, it's just a temporary MOS. And then you're going to go to OSIT for 11 Bravo or 11 Charlie, and then during that OSIT time frame, they are going to select some of those individuals to be 11 Bravos and some of those individuals to be 11 Charlies. The larger percentage usually becomes 11 Bravos, depending on the current demand for 11 Bravos. That can sometimes fluctuate, but most of the time they choose more 11 Bravos than they do 11 Charlies. And that's usually what it is. So it's just an undetermined infantry MOS. You're either going to be an 11 Bravo or an 11 Charlie. Most of the time they can't guarantee 11 Bravo unless they're really in need of 11 Bravos, and then there is some cases where you will get 11 Bravo on your contract. So that's kind of how that kind of ends up going. Do you have to be 11 X-Ray to try out for sniper? No. Well, no, I don't believe so. I mean, the priority is going to go to people who need it, because it's really just a school that you go to and you get an additional identifier with you. But the priority is going to go to individuals that would be more useful for that designator. So you could probably request it as another MOS, but it might be harder if there's a lot of people like 11 Bravos or even probably scouts or whatever trying to get into that school, so you might get bumped off for that. Hey Chris, I'm currently enlisted as 11 Bravo for over 10 months. Is there a chance for me to go to RASP? If there is, how can I do that? You would just talk to your unit. There should be like a schools NCO. You should have like a schools NCO that works somewhere in your unit that would be able to put in for you to go to RASP. That one is partially going to be, I think it actually is, based off of unit funds to be able to send you. So you're going to have to, they might make you use some pre-qualifications to make sure you'll hopefully have a good chance, because they don't want to waste unit funds on sending you to RASP for someone who's probably not going to make it. But you should have a schools NCO. Find out from maybe talking to like a squad leader or platoon sergeant or something like that, or your section sergeant, to find out who the schools NCO is, or even just telling your squad leader, say, hey, I'm interested in RASP, and I'd like to find out about going to it, because there's going to be someone who's going to have to put in a packet for you to try to go to RASP, and then just go that route. So that's what I would recommend. Edward, super chat, got 56 on was it Paratetics ASVAB. Should I put a resume? I don't know. I mean, I don't think you're talking about so you scored a specific score on the ASVAB and you're asking if you should put that on your resume. I don't really think that an employer probably would understand that for them to give you any kind of benefit with that. So I don't feel like that would help at all. No, I don't think that's going to help you in any way. Most employers aren't going to really care too much about specific ASVAB scores. The military is the only ones that really cares about those ASVAB scores. So, is 72 Delta cool job? I don't know what a 72 Delta is. What is a 72 Delta? Let's find out. Environmental science engineer officer. That sounds pretty high speed. It sounds high speed. I don't know. I've never known anybody in that MOS, so I couldn't tell you for sure. Because it sounds high speed though. Sounds like it'd be pretty cool. Hey Chris, what benefits do college graduates get in the Army? Also, what benefits do Eagle Scouts get? Thanks for advice. I have a video on that, man. There's a video that I did that talks about how to come in the Army as a higher rank. If you want to check that video out, I get a little bit more in depth with it, but essentially, like an associate's degree can get you in as an E3, a bachelor's degree can get you in as an E4. It's pretty much the highest you can kind of get in at, unless you want to go officer. And then Eagle Scout, you can get in possibly as an E3, as a private first class. But if you want a little bit deeper explanation, maybe after the live stream or whenever, check out my video on how to come in the Army at a higher rank. I'll explain a lot of those a little bit more. So that'll help out, hopefully. Well, my break is over. Peace out, brother man and platoon squad. Thanks, Southern Sun, for stopping in. Thanks for hanging out. You rock. Can I reclass if I have a bonus? Yeah, because you're still gonna have to wait until your end of your contract to reclass. So if you join the Army and you got a bonus or whatever, and after you get to your last year of that enlistment and you want to reclass, you'll still be able to reclass to another MOS. Just because you had a bonus, it won't change that. But you're gonna have to wait until that last year of your contract. So if you did like the common 4-year contract, then you have to do 3 years in that contract, and then that last year start talking to your retention NCO about reclassing to another MOS if you qualify for it. If not, what you're gonna have to do to qualify for it, if you have to retake the ASVAB or whatnot to improve your scores. So that'll kind of depend on it too. How many times would you get deployed in a 6-year contract for 11 Bravo? I've said it before, it doesn't really necessarily matter too much as far as MOS, it matters more about your unit. So it doesn't matter if you're an 11 Bravo or if you're a finance person or a cook or a scout or whatever. If you're in a unit that is going to come up on orders, everybody's going to deploy. Now, 11 Bravo would have a much more dangerous job on that deployment than like someone who's in finance. So MOS doesn't really matter, it's going to depend on your unit. Currently, with the way the Army is in a 6-year contract, if you were to join, say, this year, if it stays the way it's been for like the last 6 years, let's say, maybe once, maybe none. It just kind of depends. When from like 2003-ish, probably, all the way up until probably around 2012, 2013, it was very active to where someone who's doing a 6-year contract would probably deploy at least probably 3 times, probably, if not more, maybe. But 3 times would probably be something to probably expect to deploy. But like I said, it's kind of gotten a little bit less nowadays. It's not quite as common because I definitely see a lot less soldiers with combat patches compared to when I was still in the Army. So it's not as often, but not, impossible either. So it just kind of depends. Do you know anything about a 92 Alpha? I feel like I know that MOS. 92 Alpha, you say, huh? 92 Alpha. The automatic logistics specialist. It's I don't recognize it by that name, but I recognize 92 Alpha. I can't remember what they did. Aren't they? It's actually PLL, I think. I think that's the people that are usually working inside of the maintenance area to do your dispatching, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but I want to say 92 Alphas are the people that you would you'd go see. So when you have to get your vehicle dispatched, you'd have to go into this PLL office and you take all the stuff in there, all your paperwork from the mechanics checking out your vehicle, and they do up the dispatch for the vehicle. That's usually gonna last like a week. And then you have to do that at weekly kind of a thing to dispatch your vehicle. And they do a few other things. I think they are also the ones that deal with ordering the parts, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that's that MOS. Good evening, sir, from Carson, California. What's up, Joe? How's it going, man? I leave for it May 7th. I plan to fast class because I had a 93th and I needed a 95 for 25 Bravo. Oh, interesting. Maybe is that part of a conversation that I'm missing in the chat? Probably. So, sorry, I got to go. Well, hey, Charles, thanks for stopping in. If you have questions previously that I didn't get to, I apologize. If any of you have questions and I have skipped over them because I have to, otherwise I'm gonna get way far behind sometimes, make sure to either try to ask it again. If I still miss it, then come back to the video after it's processed. There's usually very few comments on these things after they've processed, and leave a comment in there, and then I can usually answer it then. So what do we have for likes? We're at 60 likes. Still got a ways to go. We're only got about maybe 10 more minutes-ish of this live stream to get to 100 likes. So if you are enjoying this live stream and you have not yet hit that like button, maybe think about it. Think about hitting that like button and trying to help out and try to get this stream to 100 likes before we end today. So, does Ranger School actually get you anything, or is it just for the pride of passing it? It depends. So, for some people, yes, it's only just for pride and for, you know, the whole accomplishment of being able to pass Ranger School. For officers, it's kind of a big deal, especially for like infantry officers, because sometimes they will get looked down upon if they don't have Ranger as something they've done. So a lot of people do that. If you're actually in the Rangers, then it is a requirement to go through Ranger School if you're a non-commissioned officer or an officer. So they have to go through Ranger School. But for everybody else, it's more of the accomplishment of it and getting to wear that Ranger tab for the qualification of being Ranger qualified. So partially pride, in some circumstances required though. So it just depends. When you enlist with a 4-year contract in 11 Bravo and re-enlist, do you have to redo basic training? No. The only so even if you reclassed, you wouldn't have to redo basic training. So if you have a 4-year contract and you decide you want to stay in the military, then you just extending your contract and you just continue doing your day-to-day job like nothing's changed or anything. A lot of times when you re-enlist, you might get the option for changing duty stations. So you might be within a few months or whatever, starting to that clearing process to clear that post to move on to another post that you selected or whatever, or kind of outlined in your contract, but you won't have to redo basic training. If you're just re-enlisting, you just change over. Even if you reclass to another MOS, you won't have to redo basic training. You will have to go to AIT, but it's not the same as like when you initially went through AIT. You're kind of treated a lot differently if you were someone who was already in the Army and then just reclassing to another MOS. You don't have to do all the bullcrap stuff that all the new soldiers are having to do of cleaning the barracks and everything. You're staying in these permanent party barracks and kind of having a lot easier time. You're just showing up for training, maybe for PT, but not having to do all the extra bullcrap that the new soldiers are having to do. So it works a lot better. So, hey Chris, do you plan on enlisting in the Space Force? No. No plans for the Space Force. When you transition from National Guard to Army active duty, can you have the same MOS and rank? Do you have to redo basic training since going inactive? Nope, you don't have to change anything. If you're going from active duty to or if you're going from National Guard to active duty, you'll have the same rank, you'll have the same MOS. There is no redoing anything. You're just basically going from part-time to full-time. So yeah, none of that will really change. So, hey Chris, do you snowboard? I used to. I have not in a long, long time. The last time I went snowboarding was when I was stationed in Korea. I went snowboarding. It was pretty cool because I went night snowboarding. And that was a lot of fun. But that would have been in like 2004. So I have not snowboarded since 2004. I'd like to get back into it because it's a great workout. It's a lot of fun. I'd probably be basically starting all over since I haven't snowboarded in such a long time. So I'd probably be really horrible. Not even to say that I was any good the first time, when I was originally snowboarding. But yeah, I haven't done it in a long time. When's the next live stream? The next live stream will probably just be next weekend sometime. I'm not sure if it'll be Saturday or Sunday. Maybe I'll do a Saturday one. I don't think there's a big UFC fight. A lot of times I don't do on Saturday sometimes because there's a UFC fight that I want to watch or something else going on. But I don't believe there's a really good UFC fight going on next Saturday. So maybe we'll have to do a Saturday one. I haven't done a Saturday one in a few weekends. So next weekend though, I didn't schedule this one and it turned out pretty good. So maybe I'll probably still schedule out the next. I might schedule out the next one. So be on the lookout for a scheduled live stream if I can. So we'll see. So we got about 5 more minutes before the stream ends. We're at 67 likes. The goal is to get to 100 likes. So again, if you have not yet hit that like button, make sure to hit that like button, hit that thumbs up, so we get the stream to 100 likes. Few things, if you want a Chaos sticker, I've got Chaos stickers, and I'm more than willing to hook you up with one if you're interested. I have a P.O. box listed right here. It is also listed down in the description, so you can check it out there later. It is also in the description of most of my videos, if not all of them, pretty much all of them from this year though. But this is the P.O. box, so if you want to send me a self-addressed envelope with a stamp on it, I will put in there a Chaos sticker, and you can have a Chaos sticker and, you know, stick it on your wall, stick it on your car, whatever you want to do. Or you can also send me stuff to that P.O. box. You can send me rock stars, you can send me a letter to say what's up, whatever you kind of feel like doing. I don't check it too often, so I don't know if there's anybody who's sent anything. I haven't checked it this weekend because we got really crappy snow going on right now. So I need to get to it maybe when the roads get a little bit better, head over to that post office to check the P.O. box, see if there's anything in there, and then hook up some people with some stickers. But yeah, if you hook it up, check out down in the description. There's also that address. You can write it down from there, and you can send me a letter, send me a package, or send me a self-addressed envelope, and I'll send you a Chaos sticker. Whatever you want to do, that's cool. Whatever suits you. Thanks for answering my question. Good night. Well, thanks. No problem, Eugene. And then also, let's see here. We'll switch it over here. We talked about it. I talked about it a little earlier, but I do have a little merch store. That's not the right window. I didn't have it set up properly for the right window. But there's that was the stream health. But there's if you go to ChristopherChaos.com/store, you can check out t-shirts. You can check it out there. I have quite a few shirts. I have some new ones I'm working on that you can check out. And then there's also Patreon. Those are all links down in the description as well, so check those out. If you want to rock a Chaos shirt, if you want to join the Patreon, I got to get on it and kind of fix up the Patreon a little bit better, since YouTube still hasn't given me the dang option for channel memberships. So, how was it in the Army when you first heard the Twin Towers came down? I was stationed at Fort Riley. I had just gotten done doing PT, and me and my roommate were getting dressed and getting ready to go down to formation and everything, and we were listening to the radio, and they were talking about it on the radio. And then we thought it was like some kind of small plane, and then we went downstairs and we saw on the news that it was actually an actual big plane that hit. So it was kind of crazy. We were supposed to be going to the National Training Center, which we still went to the National Training Center, but my flight got delayed. I was supposed to leave on the 12th. I ended up leaving the following day on the 13th. So there was a lot of formations, a lot of craziness going on. They used to be back then, you used to be able to just drive on base. You didn't have to, they didn't check IDs, they didn't do nothing. You could just drive on base. And you didn't have to be anything special. They were in the process at that time of starting to restrict it to where you had to have a sticker to be able to come on base, but they hadn't yet implemented that. But when 9/11 happened, they pretty much went straight to that. They pretty much forced them to dive right into that mode and have to go and kind of start restricting access on posts. So a lot of things were on lockdown. It was pretty heavy security for a while. It was nuts. I want a sticker. Well, all right, James. You can either send me a self-addressed sticker, or if you, if I do get to see you in New Mexico, I'll have some Chaos stickers with me to maybe give out for anybody who, if I run into people and they want a Chaos sticker, I'll hook you up. So that's a possibility. Really enjoy your 2-Minute Tuesday video. I'm off to BMT next month. Can't wait. Awesome, Alberto. Thank you for watching the videos, and good luck to you. Do you know if there's a place where the band hangs out? Like, can we listen in on them playing, the Army band? Not really. They usually will do like different events sometimes, where they'll do like USO events or whatever, and you can go to those and, like, you know, catch some of that. I did it one time. They came to AIT, was it, one time? That was kind of cool. They did this thing called a soldier show, and that was kind of cool, where they kind of were basically doing a lot of cover songs, and that was cool. I don't think I've ever seen it any other times. Well, there was one time, I think, in Iraq, the Army band was kind of going around doing some cover songs again too. But yeah, not like typically just a place you can go hang out and like listen to it or anything like that. So, chow time. I have to be up early. I will be sending you a care package soon. Well, thanks, Joe. Have a great chow and everything, and appreciate the support. At Bragg when the towers came down, craziness, yeah. It was pretty craziness. Craziness time. Cool, my English is better, but I'm sure others would miss Spanish. Was that in relation to something else? I will get smoked if I talk with other trainees in Spanish. Crazy. PT in the morning at 5. Oh man, Joe. Yeah, I don't miss that. I don't miss that. I've been getting in shape though. I mean, but not necessarily 5 in the morning getting in shape. Let's not get that crazy. But no, I might switch it up. I want to try to still kind of maintain this whole thing of me working out and doing all sorts of craziness. So let's see. We got the live stream to 70 likes. We didn't quite meet that 100 like goal, the 100 thumbs up, but that's okay. I still had a great time hanging out with you guys. We're close to the end. We're about at the end. I'll answer a couple more questions, and then this can be in the live stream. But if I didn't get to your question, don't feel too bad, because there's probably a lot of people I didn't get to their questions. So make sure that after this video is processed on YouTube, come back to the video and leave a question down in the comment section, and I'll try to answer it there, hopefully, if I know the answer to it. I'll try to do my best. So we'll answer a few more questions, and then that'll be the end of Chaos Live for today. How often is the Purple Heart medal given out? My great-grandpa got one in Operation Market Garden during World War II. It just depends on someone who gets injured. Now, it's only awarded to someone who gets injured in the line of combat. So when there's active things happening, then they're going to award someone the Purple Heart for, being injured in a combat situation. So I don't know what the statistics are as far as how often it's given out, but it just depends on what's going on. How do I apply for a 4-day pass? There's a form that you fill out. So 4-day passes are something like, if you just want a 4-day weekend, that's tough to get. But if it happens to be a 4-day weekend that you're already going to get because of a holiday, and you want to go outside of that 250-mile radius to go do something, then that's a little easier to obtain. You can usually get that. You just put in the paperwork saying, hey, I want to go to this location during this 4-day weekend. And as long as you're not someone who's like getting in trouble or failing PT tests or something like that, they'll usually get approved. You got to put them in, a week or two ahead of time, and then put it give it to your squad leader and say, hey, I want to do a 4-day pass, and you'll ask them for the paperwork, and they'll give you the paperwork and all that kind of stuff. But if you're trying to just get a 4-day pass on a regular weekend, that's really tough to get sometimes. Sometimes you have to be like some high-speed dude or dudette, and hopefully, they'll give you a 4-day weekend. So what are you doing to get ready for the march? I've basically just been doing a lot of road marches. So I'd be doing like, I've been dieting and doing road marches during the day. So during my lunch break, I'll do a road march for about an hour, which usually ends up being about a 3-4 mile road march, about 3 or 4 times a week. And then on the weekends, do a longer one that's a little bit more extreme, or a longer one. So I was doing it where we were climbing through the mountains with crazy elevation, and being in Colorado, having a higher elevation, that'll help as well. So we were doing some road marches with a ruck on, going up through the mountains. And then the last few weeks, we've been more focusing on the distance and not so much the terrain. So the last couple ones have been a 12-miler, a 14-miler, and then a 16-miler for the last few weekends. So basically just road marching like crazy, racking up some miles to kind of get ready for the road march. So Chaos, you ready to go snowboarding again? I'm in Colorado. I don't know, John. I don't know. I feel like I'd be really, really bad at it. But I'd like to get back into it maybe someday. At some point in time, maybe that'd be cool. I would like to get back to it. What was my MOS? I was an 88 mic. Currently at Fort Gordon. Got that swing shift. Got a class like 1700 to midnight. Holy crap. Yeah, that'd be midnight. No, it'd be 1 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, that's crazy. So we'll do 6 miles tomorrow. Man, well, you got to do somewhere. You got to do something. So I think we're going to end it there. Thanks for hanging out, you guys. I got more videos to edit. I need to finish up the last final touches on MOS Monday for tomorrow. Try to do a little pre-editing on some other videos for the rest of the week. Get some things done. It's snowing like crazy here in Colorado, so I'm hoping for a snow day tomorrow, and I don't have to go to work, and maybe I can just get ahead of some things. If you're going to be in the Las Cruces area or in the El Paso area around the 15th, 16th of this month, make sure to hit me up so that you can get some details as far as if I will do a meetup and where it'll be and all that kind of fun stuff. If you didn't already, hit that like on that stream. We didn't get to our 100 likes goal, but that's okay. I still appreciate you guys here hanging out and enjoying it. If I didn't get to your question, come back later. You'll be able to probably come back to the video after it's been processed on the channel and leave a question down in the comment section of the video, and I'll do my best to answer it there. So thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed hanging out for Chaos Live, and see you guys next time. See you guys next weekend. Thanks for watching. See ya.